Who is the real enemy, I wonder? Have you seen the statistics regarding the correlation in between extraction mines where they extract plutonium or airfields where they had nuclear weapons, and the correlation with cancer and other diseases, tons of diseases. Nuclear radiation, plutonium, enriched plutonium, uranium, it's everywhere. And this started in 1946. So many bombs, so many explosions, so many contaminants of the oceans and the rivers, because they deposited those things, bury them like they are going to disappear, right? No, they are going to go to the water that is underground. That's a real enemy. Radiation. That's the worst terrorist of all. And it's the whole Earth. But it already happened. We already did it with all those nuclear testings and all the nuclear plants which are built in tectonic plates. No. Why? Why would they build it? Two options: they're dumb, they're evil. Most likely dumb, because there's very few evil people, right? So I don't know, man. It does not make sense. But it does. You know why it makes sense? Because it was written in the book of Revelation that 1/3 of the oceans and the rivers were going to be contaminated. And that's in the period called the seven trumpets. You see, the book of Revelation is broken into sets of seven. The lights, the chandeliers, and then the seals. That's where you have the four horsemen and the bubonic plague, and Muhammad, etc. Then you have the seven trumpets. That's where you have 1/3 of the earth contaminated, of the waters contaminated, and 1/3 of humans killed. And lo and behold, they have, through abortion, almost 1/3 of the population of the planet, 1,500 million. And then you have another set of sevens, which is the balls of wrath. Now, mind you, it's the year 2018 of, because Revelation started with Jesus, right? The day of the Lord, 2,000 years ago, because remember, Jesus was born. We are celebrating his 19th birthday, okay? It's a Gregorian calendar. So the day of the Lord started 2,000 years ago, which is the book of Revelation, right? And it's broken into stages, periods, when things happen. It's like in a chronological way, assembled in a very peculiar way, but it's chronological. All the seven coincide at once. All the sevens. But they start at different periods in time, right? So how long is it gonna take until the balls of wrath? Well, only God knows the hour, right? But one thing we know in the balls of wrath. So all waters of the ocean and the rivers are contaminated. Not 1/3. Again, we have a culprit. Yeah, uranium and plutonium. Now, what's the likes of that? And people are going to live underground in caves. Wow. The sun will burn mankind. That's why they go underground. The sun is burning. It's too hot. Something happened. But hope. What is the hope? Well, that the story does not end after the earth, is destroyed by fire. All of these horrendous earthquakes. It's horrendous. You want to read a horrendous ending? Go to the Seven Bowls of Wrath, and that's the sound of inevitability, Mr. Anderson. But there's hope after that. A new earth. A new heaven in which we descend. We descend on a star that looks like a star that looks like that. You see it on my mirrors, on the eye, on my glasses. Okay, so it's called the New Jerusalem. We are the spaceship. We are given new bodies because these bodies we cannot ascend, of course. These bodies stay here. So that's the hope, resurrection, and our encounter when the Lord comes in glory, which is the day of final judgment, after which there's a new earth and a new heaven. So that's a reason for hope. Now, yes, there will be more earthquakes and more rumors of war and more, roaring of the oceans, and etc., 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 because it's written, and he does not lie. Whatever he says happens. So, that's really nice of the Lord, no? You see, there's a saying in Spanish that says, "El que avisa no es traidor." Him who, warns you in advice is not a traitor. And so that's what Jesus did, He warned us in advice of what it is to come on earth. And I'm just being realistic, with my feet on the ground, based upon evidence. So, evidence, oh yeah, contamination of the oceans. That's my radiation. And of course, another pollutants. No? That's the evidence. Because how could the book of Revelation have known that these things were going to happen? So that's another proof that that's the word of God, because he does not lie. So if the words in that book become reality, specifically talking about Revelation, as well as the whole Bible, the Gospels, but for that open prophetic book, which I want to give you comfort, see, because all of these things are meant to happen. So rejoice. We have a seat, a front row seat on the trumpets, and we're right before bowls, you know. But in between the two, there's a period called the seven thunderclaps. But of that, we will talk another day, because there's nothing written about it. John was forbidden to write about the seven thunderclaps. Interesting.